Hello everyone and welcome to Merlin's Manor. Today I'm doing my top 10 games from 2022. Now there's one game on this list that was from December 2021 that most people didn't really get the opportunity, including myself, to play in 2021, so I'm including that one on the list. I'll mention what that one is when we get to it. Let's go ahead and get into, first of all, the honorable mentions. There's two games I want to list here on the honorable mentions, and the first one is Mosaic. I've only had one playthrough of Mosaic. I enjoyed it very much when we played it, and it may belong on this list, it may not. I just haven't played it enough yet to tell whether I want it on this list or not, and so it is an honorable mention. And the other one that is an honorable mention is Frosthaven. Frosthaven's on here because I know I'm going to enjoy it. I know it belongs on this list, but since I haven't actually played it yet, I can't put it on the list. But I really enjoy Gloomhaven. I know Frosthaven's going to give me more of what I enjoy, and so it's definitely going to be on that list once I get it played. But alas, I've not played it yet since we still have to finish Gloomhaven. Now let's get into the top 10 list itself. The first one on this top 10 list is going to be Wingspan Asia. Wingspan Asia is a standalone game, so it qualifies for this list, even though I'm not putting expansions necessarily on the list because it is a standalone. But I didn't feel like it needed to be all the way at the top of the list, even though I really enjoy it, because of the fact it is mostly building off of previous Wingspan games. But I wanted it on the list because I do really enjoy it. It's really up there. And so I put it at the number 10 spot, Wingspan Asia. Okay, number 9 is Trekking Through History, another in the series of trekking games from Underdog Games. We really enjoy this game. It's got lots of beautiful artwork. You kind of learn history as you're going here, and the gameplay is fun as well. In this game, you are having this bit of a push and pull between getting these different icons to score points on your little player board, as well as you are trying to get the large groups of cards that are going in sequence from older to closer to present day. And so you're trying to get points that way, but you're also trying to get the icons. You're trying to figure out which ones you're going to do more. It's really fun and interesting game, Trekking Through History. My number 8 is Vagrant Song. Now, Vagrant Song is a cooperative game. We really enjoy, again, the artwork for this game is great. It's a campaign game where you are basically trying to help these different ghosts to be able to resolve their issues and get their humanity back. And so it's each one is kind of a boss battler kind of game, and it's got some interesting different scenarios that come up. Every scenario plays very differently than the last. We haven't gotten too terribly far in the campaign, but we've enjoyed our gameplay so far of this game. It's just a great, great game. Vagrant Song. My number 7 is Return to Dark Tower. This is a fun cooperative game where you are trying to focus a little bit on defending your land while also trying to explore different areas and eventually get to where you are fighting off a boss and winning against that boss. And each person kind of has their own kind of area that they start out in and are trying to, and then you kind of focus on how you're helping one another and working together in different ways. You know, one person will decide to go this way and do a thing while another goes another way, and you're trying to work together on all the way across this entire map. It's a very fun game. I enjoy the central tower they've got there and what that adds to the game. A very great kind of thing that they have going on there. And so we just enjoy this game as well. Return to Dark Tower. Now my number 6 is Flamecraft. This is a game that we've only played once so far, and so I don't have a full feel of how I like this game, but I did know it belonged on the top 10 list. And so I decided to put it here kind of towards the bottom of the games that are rated a 9 for me. Even though it's only an initial rating for Flamecraft, since I haven't got enough plays in to really fully solidify a rating there. So I wanted to just go ahead and throw it in right here at number 6. We really enjoy it. It looks great. It's a lot of fun puzzling out what you're going to go after and how you're going to do that. I just really enjoy this game and really want to get into it more in 2023. And so Flamecraft, highly recommend it as well. My number 5 is Isle of Cats Explore and Draw. This is the smaller version of Isle of Cats. That is a flip and write version. And this game plays differently than the regular Isle of Cats, even though it's got the same theme and some similarities in gameplay as well. In this game, you have this grid of cards to pick from, and you are picking a column to play, or you have a few special powers that allow you to do things a little bit differently throughout the game as well. In fact, one of them lets you take an entire row. But in this game, you are choosing one section of cards to play, and you are drawing each of those into your little boat that you have in front of you. And so you get to pick basically 3 to 4 cards at a time to go and do all at once, and so you know exactly what's going to come up. So that's an interesting kind of way it changes up from the original game where you're only doing one thing at a time. Here you can kind of plan 3 to 4 actions all at once and then get those all in there. And everybody's taking their turns simultaneously, so it speeds up the game a little bit there since we're all working at the same time. Although it does slow it down a little bit in that you have to try and figure out how to draw in there. But I really enjoy it. Isle of Cats Explore and Draw is my number 5. Now, coming in at number 4 is Tenpenny Parks. Tenpenny Parks is a very fun polyomino game. I really enjoy the look of it as well. In fact, it made my top 10 artwork games in my collection. Really enjoy this game. You are basically getting these different theme park rides, and you are putting them into your theme park. You've got trees that are in your theme park that you have to try and figure out, am I going to work around those trees, or am I going to have to take an entire action to get rid of a couple trees in order to make room? You're also expanding your park space through certain actions. And so it's also got this fun kind of track that you are trying to compete with other players on to be able to get special bonus actions at the end of each round, as well as you're trying to get all of your areas leveled up by the end of the game so that you can get points for having each of those cross a certain threshold. And so there's a lot going on in this game. I really enjoy puzzling out how to get those things placed into your park, how to best make your victory points by advertising different things, making the most of the money that you do have to both get the rides you want in there as well as to advertise for them. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. Tenpenny Parks. Number 3 is Creature Comforts. Now, Creature Comforts is a worker placement game where you have these dice that you're going to be rolling. You get to roll your family dice first, which is 2 of the 6 dice you're going to have to work with. Then you're putting out workers, and you're hoping to be able to have the right dice combinations to be able to take all the actions of where you put workers. And then you're rolling the group community dice, the 4 dice there, and so you got 4 new dice that you didn't know what they were going to be. Hopefully they work out for you. And if not, you get lesson learned tokens and be able to adjust dice in the future because of that. There's also other things that you're able to collect along the way that allows you to mitigate different things. And so it's a lot of fun. You're basically collecting these different comforts that are going to give you victory points at the end. You're trying to combo in different ways. A lot of fun. Some of the places you're trying to store up resources on that card in order to get maximized points. And so you got all these different kind of routes that you can go to score points. And it's just a really fun worker placement game. Enjoy Creature Comforts. So number 2 on my list is Planet Unknown, which is another polyomino placement game where you have this planet that you are terraforming. You are getting these different tiles down on there that are going to give you a benefit that's going to increase you on these different tech tracks. And so you are grabbing pieces based on the shapes that are going to fit on your planet, as well as the different tracks that you want to try to go up. And the different tracks give you points, they give you other benefits, and so you are trying to maximize what you're able to do there. You also have to send a rover around on the planet to pick up meteorites that come down, or else you're not going to score points. And the main way that you're scoring points in this game is by filling out columns or rows to be able to score 1, 2, or 3 points, depending on how hard that column or row was to fill. And you are also scoring, again, points for the tech track. And you also have different bonus cards you're going to pick up along the way you're going to score points for. You score points for getting these different pods back by using your rover. And you get points for cleaning up the meteorites. And so there's a lot of different ways that you score points in this game. And you have to figure out the way to maximize that to be able to get the most done before either the event deck runs out if you're playing with that, or somebody is not able to place a polyomino piece onto their planet. Once that happens, the game ends after that round, and you add up your points. And so there's a lot of different ways to score points. I enjoy that very much. I enjoy also the fact that there's a lot of different types of planets and corporations that you can be that all provide different challenges. And so there's a lot of replayability from that. And so I've really enjoyed Planet Unknown. I really need to get into it more often in the next year. But I've played a decent amount of times already, and it's quickly shot up to being my number 2 game of the year. Finally, my number 1 game is Ark Nova, and this one is technically a 2021 game, but it was late 2021. A lot of people weren't able to even get their hands on it until 2022, myself included, and so I'm going to go ahead and include this on my 2022 games list, and it was my number 1 that I got to get to the table for the first time this year that came out really soon, and so I'm going to go ahead and include it, Ark Nova. In this game, you are building up a zoo, you are buying different tiles that you're going to try and place into your zoo area and try and figure out the best way to kind of place those to be able to build out your zoo. It's also a tableau building game, so you are getting these different cards that are going to be different animals as well as different sponsors to help you out, and you have these 5 different actions that you are taking, and it's a very neat kind of mechanism where the actions get stronger as they move to the right, but the only way they're moving to the right is by you doing the ones that are already to the right of that card and sliding it back to the left. And so you kind of have to figure out, are you going to take a certain card's action where it's going to be the less beneficial, but you want to do that right now? Or are you going to try and figure out how to get that to the right so you can use that? And so you can't just keep spamming the same kind of actions because you're not going to get as powerful that way. So it's a very cool mechanism the way that is done. I really enjoy how everything comes together, and you are trying to get these 2 tracks to cross paths. And once that happens, the end game is initiated. Whoever triggers the end game, that'll be their last turn, and everybody else gets a turn after that to finish out. And whoever manages to cross the furthest, including some bonus cards, which leads to some extra hidden kind of points to come in at the end, as well as other things that give you kind of points at the end, will win the game if you can get the furthest across between the conservation and the appeal tracks. So it's kind of a cool, kind of interesting mechanism there. I haven't seen that in any other games that I've played. Really kind of interesting way that works, and just enjoy the game overall. It's my number 1 of 2022, even though it's technically a late 2021 game. And so these are my top 10 games, plus a couple that aren't pictured here right now. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you get to try out some of these games if you haven't already done so. And if there's any games that you really enjoyed from 2022, let me know in the comments below. I haven't gotten to play every game, of course. I haven't gotten to play a lot of the popular ones even, but these are the ones that I did get to play that I enjoyed the most. And so let me know what you enjoy. As always, I will catch you in the next video.